Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Soy Kyle y aquí conmigo hoy es mi hermana Kristen y vamos a hacer una entrevista, tener una conversación que espero que es divertida, ¿ok? Empecemos. Kristen, ¿estás lista?
Yes.
Ok. Ah, ¿Dónde quieres viajar en el futuro? No, I'm just joking.
I was gonna say the whole thing.
No, I'm just joking. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? I'm going to talk a little slower because this video is for people who are learning English and have about an intermediate level, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing about this interview is that you have to tell the truth, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is, do you think that you are smarter than me?
um, Sometimes I think I'm smarter than you.
Okay,
Sometimes I think you're smarter than me.
all right.
It depends on the situation.
Okay, I wanted to know what you would say to that. I feel the same. I know that you know a lot more about a lot of things than I do, but then again, there's a lot of things that I know a lot more about. You're certainly much more educated than I am, but we both have areas of expertise, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you like to do for fun? Because there's going to be some normal questions too. Okay.
I like to read for fun. I like to read a lot. I've always been a really big reader. I mean, you know that. I've always read. I have a Kindle now, so I can read ebooks, so I don't have to like actually buy a book. I can check them out from the library online, which saves me a lot of time. And I like to hang out with my cats for fun, which you make fun of me for a lot, but I love my cats. And then I like to spend time with Antonio, my boyfriend.
Okay, cool. So what is the best book ever?
Oh, ever? I think Lord of the Rings is, at least in my opinion, is the best book ever. I feel like you would probably disagree with me. You've read like a lot of different books that you might have a different opinion.
Yeah, I've read a lot of different books, like old books, new books. And I have to say, Lord of the Rings to me is the most creative and best book series ever. And it's amazing that when he wrote that series, he created a whole new world.
Mm-hmm.
He made different languages that
Yeah.
people can speak now. So yeah, I actually agree with that. I think the Lord of the Rings is awesome. Okay, so you live in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you lived in Chicago now?
Oh gosh, I think has it been 5 years? Maybe 6 years now. It's been a long time. Almost all of your son's life that I lived in Chicago. So I think like 6 years.
Okay. Before that, you lived in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so tell me, because Chicago is one of the most famous cities in the United States. So I think that most of the people who will see this video have heard of Chicago and know that it's a big, important city here. So tell me, what is your favorite thing about the city, about living in Chicago?
I love that no matter where you go, there is always someplace really cool and good to eat. We have so many different restaurants and of all communities too. Like there are so many different people who immigrated here to Chicago and opened up restaurants. And so they're actually authentic restaurants that are run by people who are from that community, which I think is very, very cool. It's real food. It's not something that like an American decided they wanted to learn how to make and opened up a restaurant. It's people who are actually from those places who make that food, and I really really enjoy anywhere you go to eat is a really cool and fun experience, and I think that's kind of unique to Chicago.
Okay. I always say that too. Whenever I'm talking to somebody about Chicago, that I love the food and you could have Colombian food. We went to a Colombian steakhouse
Yeah.
and with a Colombian, and she said it was amazing. You could have authentic Asian food, Chinese, Korean, Thai, whatever. From anywhere in the world, you could find the cuisine in Chicago. And I agree that's really something awesome about the city.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one good thing about Chicago. Um, now tell me, okay, to be real here, I love the food, but I hate Chicago.
I know that.
So, uh, tell me, what is your least favorite thing? What do you think is the worst thing about Chicago?
I think, well, there are a lot of things that are not good. Like, I will admit that there are a lot of things about Chicago that are not great. One thing I really dislike is that there are no police who monitor the transit, so the buses and the trains. Our public transit is really, really good. You can get just about anywhere that you need to go without having to have a car. But I don't like that there are a lot of bad things that happen. Like, I've had my phone stolen on the red line in Chicago, and there was nobody there. It's not funny. There was nobody there that could help me.
I
And
remember
so
the
that
story as
really
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was not great. There was literally nobody at the station. There were no police. Um, and they say that the transit system like has their own police, but I don't ever see them, and like at least the trains that I take and the buses that I take. So that's really frustrating. I don't feel like you're very safe a lot of the times on some of the trains when there's nobody there to like protect you if something goes wrong.
Yeah, I think especially in like the south side or more dangerous parts of the city, there should be an officer on each train.
Yeah, just to keep it safe for everybody, because you have like younger kids that have to take the train, teenagers who are going home from school, just trying to get to and from one place to the next. And I don't feel like they're being kept safe all the time, which it makes me sad.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in Chicago where I would not take my son. I would not take,
Yeah,
because crimes do happen in Chicago. People are shot and
yeah,
stabbed.
yeah.
So you do have to be careful. So if anybody ever goes to Chicago, there are beautiful things to see there, and there are safe parts. The food is amazing, but ten cuidado, you have to be careful
Yeah.
because there are a lot of bad places. So just be very careful, and you can have a good time in Chicago. Okay, so what is your biggest fear?
Oh gosh. Um, I I really, really hate bugs. Bugs really scare me. Like really, really scare me. Yesterday, there was a spider in the bathtub, and I almost fell over trying to get out of the bathroom to get away from the spider. It really scared me. One time, I almost wrecked my car because I was driving and there was a spider that crawled across my, what's that, like the dashboard, and it just crawled right across it. And I almost crashed because I got so scared. I get really, really scared of spiders. I used to be afraid of like being out and about by myself. I'm not so much afraid of that now, but that used to really freak me out. I didn't like to be alone. But yeah, definitely spiders, bugs really creep me out. I don't like them.
Uh, I would make fun of you, but I can't because my biggest fear is what?
Aliens.
So your fear is probably more realistic. So I won't make fun of you for that. Okay. So here's one that you might have to think about a little bit. And I want to hear what your answer is. So tell me a funny memory that you have from when we were younger.
Oh, well, it was funny for me. I don't think it was funny for you. But one time we were at, I think it was Kmart. We were at a store, and you used to like put your hands in things where your hands did not belong. I don't know. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Did I stick my finger in a hole in the wall?
Yes, you stuck your finger in this little hole in the wall and your finger got stuck. And mom got very freaked out and upset, partly because we were in public. And so it was also embarrassing that she had to go find somebody. But yeah, that was really funny to me. I thought it was hilarious. There was another time that you got stuck inside of your toy box. It was a big football shaped toy box and you got stuck in there. And that was really funny to me too. A lot of things that I think were funny, I don't think were funny for you, but they were hilarious for me.
I have a memory, and I don't know if you'll remember it or if I'm just making this up in my head, but do you remember a time when we were in the kitchen and we threw like a whole bag of flour everywhere?
Yep, it was.
That
I
happened?
think it was. It was flour and what's that other baking soda, maybe some other white powder too.
Or
Yeah.
maybe powdered sugar.
Yeah, something like that. And we were like skating along mom got very upset. She got very
I remember, like, this is one of my earlier memories. I just remember it being all over us and all over the floor.
You were little. You would have been, I think, like 5 or 6, maybe. You were very little.
Yeah, that's one of the earliest memories I have.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So, what do you think is your best quality as a person?
That's a hard question.
I think
I'm very
some funny ones, weird ones. So
I think I'm very open-minded. I'm very accepting. I try my best, at least, to be very open-minded and accepting when people are different from me or think different from me or feel different from me. I try to just accept that we have a different opinion and like not hold it against people. At least I think I do. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's all in my head, but I think I'm pretty good at that, of like just being open and accepting of people and not like making everything into an argument. People can disagree and that's okay.
Okay. I like that, because so many people want to turn their opinions into fights, and they'll be on Facebook saying, if you think this, delete me. We are not going to talk anymore. And that's pathetic to say that to your friends and family.
Yeah.
You should be having a discussion, an open discussion. Or if you're so mad about it that you can't talk about it, just shut up and talk about something else.
Yeah. Don't talk about it.
Yeah. You can still be friends with somebody who thinks completely different than you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your worst quality as a person?
And
I'll tell you if you're telling the truth or not.
I think I can get really jealous really easily, and not so much in my relationship. Like I don't get jealous. Like Antonio has many friends. Some of them are women. I don't get jealous about that. I get jealous like when people have something that I don't have and I wish that I had it. I can get really jealous. Maybe envious is the better word, and not jealous. I get envious. You're laughing like I'm correct.
No, that's like a one of the deadly sins.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Envy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I wouldn't have thought that of you. But
that's nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I lost some respect.
Now you know. What would you have said is the worst thing about me?
I don't know.
It's a trap.
No, let's see. I would have thought that maybe sometimes you think you're right and you think it's maybe your way or the highway.
Yeah, sometimes.
And if people don't know that expression, people say it's my way or the highway, which means we're going to do things my way, the way that I want to do them, or you can get out of here.
Yeah.
So not that that's such a terrible thing that is very obvious in you, but I just thought maybe because you are opinionated about a lot of things.
I have lots of opinions.
I thought that maybe that might be what you think would be one of your, not that it's a terrible downfall, but just something that might pop up about you.
I definitely do that sometimes, especially when it comes to like making plans of like, I sometimes think that my plan is the best plan. And I get frustrated if somebody else thinks that we should do something a different way. And then I get irritated. Yeah, I think that's true.
Okay. And it could be a good thing. Sometimes it could help you out for sure, because sometimes we are right and the other person is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is my best quality?
I knew you were going to ask me that. What do you think is my best quality? And then I'll answer.
Mm-hmm.
Say something nice about me. I said something nice. Well, you said something bad about me. Now
no, you have to tell me my best quality.
I have to go first? I want you to tell me about me first.
Okay. I feel like you are very intelligent about a wide range of things, and I feel like I could come to you and get good advice. So I don't know if this is just our relationship, that I feel super comfortable coming to you with problems and like you'll actually be able to help me, which is something that a lot of people, sometimes you tell people what's going on in your life and they talk and talk and talk, but it doesn't help at all.
Yeah.
I feel like when I come to you with my problems, it actually does help. I actually do feel a little better. So
Thanks.
maybe that you're, I don't know, compassionate, or I don't know the word I want to say. Not just a good listener, but you give good advice too.
Thanks. I try. There are definitely other people. I feel like a lot of people come to me with their problems, which I try to just appreciate that people like trust me enough to talk to me about their problems. I try to give good advice.
And you know what? I feel like you, if I tell you something, you're not going to go tell everybody else.
Yeah.
So
I keep secrets. I keep
trustworthy, confidant, which is an important thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, your best quality. I think that, I mean, there are a lot of things, but one thing that I really appreciate you about you is that like you are a really, really good dad, and you like always try to set a good example. And when you didn't set a good example, you admit that and you apologize to him that you didn't do what you should have done in that moment, and you say sorry. And I think you do that with other people too. But I think it's really important, especially being a parent, that your kid sees like that's being a good role model. Like you do that for me too. Like if you said something and you're like, man, that was kind of messed up, I'm sorry I said, like you'll do that too. But I think it's really good, especially when you're a dad, to like be able to do that and like admit when you said the wrong thing or you did the wrong thing and be humble.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes it's tough, but I do feel like it's important that if I was wrong, or I was too strict, or I was having a bad day and I raised my voice, I tell him I'm sorry. You know, I'm not having a good day, and I'm gonna try better too. So, okay, what's my worst quality?
Well, I'm trying to think.
First, what I think you're gonna say, I think you'll also agree that I have grown out of it to a large extent. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, now I wonder if I'm gonna say the thing that you think I'm gonna say.
Okay.
If I say something else, you have to tell me what you thought that I would say.
All right.
I think that you can sometimes be like very, very, I don't feel like stubborn is the right word because it's not quite stubbornness, but almost like like you expect things to happen a certain way, and you expect, well, now I think I know what you thought I was going to say, so I'll say it after because I think I know what you thought. Yeah. And it's related to this. Yeah. But like a lot of the time you expect things to happen a certain way or things to like end up a certain way, and then when they're not, I think that you get very like fixated on the fact that it didn't go how you wanted it to go. And I think what you thought I was going to say is that you're very needy.
Needy? No. I was going to say conceited.
Also that, but you have grown out of that. You've grown out of that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how am I needy?
Oh my gosh, how are you needy? Anytime that you text me, and if I don't respond quickly enough for you, you'll text me again and tell me how messed up it was that I didn't answer you. The other day you sneezed and we didn't say bless you fast enough, and so you started to make a comment about how nobody said bless you, but we were about to say it.
Okay, bless you is if you sneeze, achoo, salute. But in English we say bless you. So I sneezed, achoo. And Kristen and my son did not say bless you, so I was mad. Okay, I get that. And I also, I want things to be the way I want them, I know.
But you're getting better about that. You're growing out of that too.
Yeah, I'm trying. If you could travel anywhere in the world for free, where would you go?
Ooh. I would love it if I could go places without flying on planes, because that's another fear of mine is flying. And so a lot of the places that I would love to go, I'm scared to go because I'm scared to fly there. If I was not scared of flying, I would really, really like to do like a big trip throughout Europe and just go to like a whole bunch of different places in Europe. I would really like to go to Ireland. I would really like to be able to go, like, especially to the parts in England where they film Doctor Who, which is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I would really like to, like, they do tours sometimes where they take you to the different places that they've filmed. And I think that would be really cool. It would be cool to go to France. There are so many places in Europe that I would love to go, but I don't know if I ever will because I'm scared of flying and it's really hard for me to be brave and get on a plane.
So if you had the opportunity to go and do those things, you wouldn't because you'd have to fly?
I think if people were going with me, I think I could be brave. The only time I've ever flown, I did it by myself, and I think that's also why it added to me being anxious about it because I was alone. I think if like you were going with me or Antonio was going with me, I could do it. I would still be very scared, but I think I could do it if I knew I was going somewhere very cool and I wasn't doing it by myself. And maybe if I could have like a sleeping pill that would just make me sleep through the whole flight so I didn't have to be scared. But it would take a lot of bravery to get me on a plane, especially a plane ride that would be that long. That's a very, very long plane ride. And so that would make me nervous too.
Okay. Well, maybe one day.
Yeah.
If I ever go to Europe, I'll invite you guys.
Yeah. We'll all go together and then I don't have to be so scared.
Okay. So how would you describe our childhood when we were younger?
I think our childhood was very
Careful,
interesting.
because mom will probably watch
I
this.
know. I was thinking, how can I say it so that mom doesn't get upset? I think it was very interesting. There were like chunks of time, years of time where things were very, very good. And like we had like dad's job was going really well. And so there was money for us to be able to do things and have fun and have the things that we needed. And then there were times that his job wasn't going so well. And so there wasn't the extra money to be able to do things and have fun and have all the things that we needed. But I think that like you and I both learned a lot from all of those different times. And I don't think that we would be the same people if we hadn't gone through those different periods where things were good and things were bad. I think it was a good mix of all of them where we're well-rounded people. I think because of that. We're not spoiled. We don't expect things to be just given to us. We know we have to work for things. So I think it worked out, but there were definitely times that it could have been better and it wasn't. And that's sad, but it's okay. It ended up okay.
Yeah, we're both doing pretty well now. So
Yeah.
maybe if we had a lot of money back then, right now we would not be doing so well.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that I'm funny?
Yeah, I think you're funny.
Because you always say that I'm not.
Because when you're trying to be funny, you're not as funny. But when you're not, I'm the same. Antonio tells me all the time, you're only funny when you're not trying to be. And I think you're the same because we try too hard to be funny. We want people to laugh so bad.
But everybody does.
But do they because we're funny or because they know we want them to laugh and they don't want to hurt our feelings?
I don't care because I am getting. Do you think that you are cool? Cool?
No.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, cool is chido, chévere, guay. And you don't think you're cool?
No, I don't. I think I enjoy too many things that are not cool. Like a lot of the things that I like to do are not what you would think a cool person does. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I'm very cool, but that doesn't make me sad. I'm okay about that. Like that's okay with me that I'm not that cool. That's fine.
Okay. Do you think I'm cool?
I think you think you're cool.
Okay.
I think that your son would think you're very cool. He thinks that his dad is very cool.
Okay. That's all that matters to me. And I think I'm cool. So
I know you do.
So what is a skill, una habilidad that you do not have whatsoever, but you wish you had? Something you wish you could do that you can't do?
Oh, and I've always wished this. I've always wished that I was more artistic. I've always wished that I could draw. I almost said draw better, but I can't draw at all. So I wish that I could draw. I really think that I like drawing and painting and things like that that are very artistic things. I've never been good at. And I think that would be a really fun hobby for me to have if I was any good at it. But I'm not, so I don't do it because it will just make me sad that I'm not good at it. I get frustrated when I'm not good at things.
Okay, so that was all the questions that I had written down for you. So now I want you to think of a question for me.
Oh,
A good one.
If you could have any job in the world, so it doesn't matter what kind of education you would have to get it, because sometimes those are blocked off, you know, depending on what education you have. But if you could have any job in the entire world, what do you think would be your like favorite job to have? What would make you the happiest?
Definitely something with languages. I have an idea in my head for something I kind of want to do. I don't want to say too much of my plan, but to be kind of a coach for learning languages, and people with a lot of money could pay me, and I'll create a whole plan
Oh,
of
that's cool.
basically every day. I will lay out exactly what they have to do to learn their language, supply them with all the content, everything. So something like that. And I would love to be able to travel and speak with people in their own languages. I don't know how I could do that, but maybe, I don't know, film documentaries or something like that,
Ooh,
to where I could communicate with people from different parts of the world and get involved in their cultures, things like that.
that's very cool.
Yeah, to me, it's having meaningful conversations with people and helping people and seeing the world from their point of view.
Yeah.
So yeah, how about you?
I sometimes miss being a teacher. I really feel like that might have been like my best happiest job, but it's so hard now to be a teacher because there are so many things that the government is saying you can or cannot teach and talk about. There are so many things students by the because I taught high school, so ninth grade teenagers. I taught teenagers, and a lot of the time now, by the time that they get to high school, they don't they can't read at the level that they should be. So it got very hard to be teaching English when students could not read and understand the books that I was supposed to be teaching them. And that is part of what made me end up leaving. But I do really miss it. I think in a perfect world where everything were perfect, I would love to go back and be a teacher, but there's just so much now that makes it really hard to be a teacher that I don't think I could go back and be happy like I was when I started. I was very happy when I started, and it just kind of got worse and worse as time went on.
Yeah, I imagine. Okay, well, thank you very much for helping me
Mhm.
do this. It was fun for me to hear your opinions on things like our childhood and my flaws. So thanks for helping me out
Mhm.
with this.
You're
And
welcome.
quiero decir en español, a ver si tú puedes entenderme.
Yes.
Ok, pero tal vez hemos hablado el nivel poco más difícil o avanzado, ah, y por eso voy a hacer subtítulos en español y en inglés, pero si ustedes pudieran entender un poquito de eso, muy bien, porque eso significa que hablan inglés. Y como siempre, muchas gracias por ver y nos vemos pronto.